welcome to another episode of the Reckless Paradise Podcast. I am your host, Dystro, and tonight's episode is a two-header sort of beast here. This one is going to be... It's a career dives episode, but tonight's careers are ones of uh, whimsical and kind of like outlandish sort of stuff. Two of them in particular are Doink the Clown and the Boogeyman. Um, I really don't know which one to kind of go into, so I'm just gonna go with Doink the Clown first. Um, Doink the Clown was a popular person or persona who was portrayed by Matt Bourne uh, in the WWF in '92, and he would wear brightly colored clothing. But he began as a heel character, and he was dubbed the Evil Clown before becoming a face character. In addition to Bourne, Doink had been portrayed occasionally by other wrestlers in WWE and unofficially in the or on the independent circuit. Um, its first appearance was at WWF Superstars in '92. Last appearance was Money in the Bank of 5 years ago, and he was created by Vince McMahon. Um, Aliases was the Evil Clown, and plus Matt Bourne as the person, he he debuted in '92, and then he would make appearances in the crowd or ringside, playing tricks on fans and wrestlers. And then he began feuding with Crush at the beginning of '93. And then he would kind of he would play as a heel, but then he would play cruel jokes on people. And then one of them was tripping the boss man with a tripwire, accidentally poking Tatanka in the eye with a mop, dumping water on Mari Jannetty and attacking Crush with a loaded prosthetic arm. They would feud. Doink and Crush would feud till WrestleMania 9, which a match he won after the appearance of the identical Doink. Um, that was from underneath. He had also wrestled Randy Savage on Monday Night Raw, substituted Jerry Lawler, who faked an injury against Bret Hart in '93 at SummerSlam that year. And then shortly thereafter that, he became a face. Um, he threw a bucket of water on Bobby Heenan, resulting in a kayfabe cold from Heenan. He'd also turned on Jerry Lawler on September 26th episode of Wrestling Challenge. Um, but he, he didn't have any um like he had no really champion he had no championships in WWE or WWF I should say. Um, but he did win some championships within other federations and all that stuff. He was the APWF television champion, IWA United States heavyweight champion, NWA Southwest TV champion, the regional championship wrestling United States tag team champions with Jay Love. I don't know who that is. And then Wrecking Ball Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. And he had not gotten some really good awards. Most Embarrassing Wrestler in '94, Worst Feud of the Year in '94, and then Worst Worked Match of the Year in '94. So yeah, it was kind of not very very good sort of thing. He would make sporadic appearances and all that stuff. And then he just I don't know. It's he's just not there, hardly. And Matt Bourne, he had passed away on July or June 28th of 2013. That was 12 years ago, and he, as a wrestler, he began his professional wrestling career, he began in NWA in late 70s, going into early 80s. And then he goes into the WWF in 85, 86, goes to world class championship wrestling, WCCW, which is Von Erich territory and all that stuff. USWA territory. He goes into WCW. He becomes Big Josh, who was like this outdoorsman who danced with bears and stuff, which was actually kind of cool. Then he makes his way to WWF, and then he he becomes like Doink in Eastern Championship or Extreme Championship Wrestling. Um, and then he would leave ECW. He would wrestle on like some indie shows and all that stuff. And then it was like kind of like he just didn't do much and all that stuff either. But as Matt Borne, he was the IWA United States Heavyweight Champion. He was in the he won the NWA Mid Atlantic Tag Team Championships with Buzz Sawyer. The WCW United States Tag Team Championships with Ron Simmons. Damn! And then the WCW World Six-Man Tag Team Championships with Dustin Rhodes and Tom Zank. That is pretty cool, if you want to think about it. The Mid-South Wrestling Association Tag Team Champion with Ted DiBiase. That's freaking crazy. The New England Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame class of 2014. He was the Championship Wrestling International Alliance World Heavyweight Champion. Wow, can you try to say that 5 times fast? The Championship Wrestling United States Television Champion, the NWA Pacific Northwest Heavyweight Champion, and then the NWA Pacific Northwest Tag Team Champion. He went 4 times, 2 times with Steve Regal and 2 times with Rip Oliver. Portland Wrestling, Portland Pacific Northwest Tag Team Champion with Brian Cox. He was ranked 26 in the PWI for 92. And then he was ranked 398 for 2003. Ring Around the Northwest newsletter, he won Wrestler of the Year and Tag Team of the Year that in both 96 and 97 respectively. Texas Wrestling Federation World Heavyweight Champion, Texas Wrestling Hall of Fame in Class 2011. Ultimate Wrestling Phantom Champion, that actually sounds cool. The USWL Unified World Heavyweight Champion. The USWA World Tag Team Champion 2 times with Jeff Jarrett. The WCWA Texas Heavyweight Champion and WCWA World Tag Team Champions. 1 time with Buzz Sawyer and 1 time with Jarrett. And then Wrecking Ball Wrestling, like I had said before. So like the character Doink in Matt Borne, I mean they're the exact same person, but if we want to kind of talk about like more so like logistics, I would say like we can go with Matt Borne on this one. But that is not the end of this episode yet. So like I said, we're gonna be talking about Doink the Clown and Boogeyman. So now we're going on to the Boogeyman. Martin Wright, better known as the Boogeyman. He is currently signed to WWE under a Legends contract. That's actually kind of cool. He was also called the Nightcrawler Slitherer. That actually does not sound right. He was trained by OVW, Stevie Ray, and Booker T. That's actually kind of cool. Mr. Wright debuted into professional wrestling in 2004 through Tough Enough, but not long after being cut due to his age, he was sent to OVW in 2005, which he would later debut as the Boogeyman, who would consume worms through his opponent. After his WWE run ended in 2009, he would continue on the independent circuit, and he would have a one-off appearance in the 2015 Royal Rumble. And he's made sporadic appearances since. Um, as of 2018, Mr. Wright was working as a fitness instructor in different Colorado. He has his own training facility in Boulder, Colorado. And he's also helping people lose weight and get in shape. That's actually kind of cool. I like that. I liked it. Um, so it's kind of going over like he was cut from Tough Enough, and then goes to OVW, trains there and all that stuff. And then he goes to SmackDown in '05. Um, and then like those vignettes that they would have and all that stuff, like he's coming and all that stuff. Um, he goes to ECW for a little bit, like a cup of coffee, like 2 years or so. Then goes to independent circuit, and then comes back to WWE in 2012, and then just makes sporadic appearances and all that stuff too. But he was the Alabama Wrestling Federation Tag Team Champion with Bobby Lashley. That does not sound right, but that's crazy to think about. He won Rookie of the Year in '06, and he was ranked 114 in top 500 of 2007. Um, Damn, it's like when you look at the Boogeyman stuff, it's like he could have done a lot more, but they just didn't give him a lot more because of his age, which I understand. But with Matt Borne, he was kind of doing everything in his power to kind of get shit done, I guess, if you want to call it that. But yeah, it was kind of cool to just I guess go into a deep dive of both of them, because I'm usually more so synonymous with Boogeyman, but I know of Matt Borne, I know of Doink the Clown and all that stuff through Wrestling with Regret. Um, and it's sad to see how I guess times have kind of passed both of them by, because if they were say if Boogeyman was in the Attitude Era, he would have thrived in the Attitude Era, because there was a lot of outlandish gimmicks, there was a lot of outlandish promos and feuds and all that stuff. A Mankind versus Boogeyman feud would have been actually kind of sweet to see. And plus, I could just see The Rock kind of being "Who is this jabroni named the Boogeyman?" And he would just shit down Boogeyman's throat. But I digress. Um, but yeah, it's kind of a short, sweet episode. Which I mean, that's not anything to write home about. Um, but yeah, that is the end of this Career Dive episode. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you made it to the very end of this video, please make sure to follow us on all social media links in the description below, which will take you to our link tree, which will take you to our Instagram page, our respective Instagram pages, Twitter pages, the podcast Reddit page is on there, a gaming YouTube channel is on there. And tonight's song of the night is going to be Dance Kid Dance by Shinedown. And yeah, I think that's it. And hopefully you have a good rest of your night, day, whatever, when you're watching this or listening to this. And I will see you this Sunday for Shoot the Shit. See ya. Peace.